Another one we're looking at doing for improvements is putting a turn arrow up at Northpoint and Division for the employees coming out of Sentry and the students coming out of Spash and Pacelli in that area. Let's talk about that one for a little bit.
Again, we have an intersection that if you've spent any time in Stevens Point, you know that that intersection at certain times of the day is very busy. And with the high school being to the west and Sentry being to the east, that intersection experiences high volumes of eastbound and westbound traffic during certain times of the day. And we've decided that putting in left turn arrows would significantly help that congestion at that intersection. So once school lets out in June, we have a plan ready to go to install left turn arrows there. And it's just going to help reduce some of the rush of folks trying to beat that green.
Right.
And when folks are trying to rush through and beat that green, it gets pretty unsafe.
Sure. And this really comes after discussions with Sentry, the Sentry employees, the school district, and some of their users and employees as well. So I think that's going to be a great addition. When's that one scheduled to be installed?
Sometime in July.
July, okay. And to give people an idea, I know I get calls all the time about, why can't you add a turn signal, or why can't you put up, signal lights, things like that. It's not that easy. For example, this turn arrow, just adding a turn arrow to existing lights is going to cost about how much?
About $12,000 to $15,000.
And that's that's pretty significant. It's not something you can just go ahead and do in a weekend.
Correct. And something that seems as simple as adding a left turn arrow, there was traffic counts that needed to be taken. There was input that needed to be done into basically the computer for that intersection on how a left turn arrow affects all the other timings in all of the other directions. Unfortunately, it's not straightforward.
Right. And that's the point that I'm trying to stress here, is that things aren't as simple as just say it, you should do this, and it gets done. There's a lot of background work. We try and vet every possibility before we make a decision, and make small steps so we can make those changes and ensure that the changes are actually doing something or having the desired effect before we move on to the next step.